Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
Welcome, everyone, to tonight's live stream of North Dakota Class 11A High School Football on your live event. Welcoming you to the city of the skid steer loader. That's Gwinner, North Dakota. It won't be long till we're under the lights here at Melrose Gwinner Field outside of North Sargent High School as the sun sets right around 7:20 this time of year. And this field here is home to the Sargent County Bulldogs, who are still searching for their first win of the season at 0-5, and they're ready to battle with some pride and heart in front of their home crowd tonight. Across the field, we've got the visiting Oaks Tornadoes arriving with a 2-2 overall record and a solid 2-1 mark here in Region 1 play. They've shown they can compete with the best, and tonight they are looking to add another W to their playoff push. It's going to be a matchup here tonight of a little grit versus some momentum here. So the Bulldogs aiming to break through and the Tornadoes trying to stay in that Region 1 race. So whether you're watching from home, on the road, or cheering from the stands, we are glad you're here. Kickoff is just under 30 minutes away, so stay locked in. And because this is high school football, you know anything can happen. So hope you're having a fantastic Friday evening. I am Bryce Hogness. Honored to be here this evening right here in the Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth. It's week 6 in high school football across the state of North Dakota, and this is the pregame show on your live event. Well, the visiting Tornadoes, as mentioned earlier, are off to a 2-2 start. That includes 2 wins and a loss in Region 1 play. Serving as head coach for the Tornadoes program is Coach Greg Dobitz. I was able to catch up with Coach Dobitz earlier this week in preparation for tonight's matchup against the Bulldogs, and here's what he had to say. Joining me ahead of this week's matchup against the Sargent County Bulldogs, we welcome head coach of the 2-2 overall Oaks Tornadoes, Greg Dobitz, to the pregame show. Greg, thanks for joining.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So I guess looking at this week, last week ahead, and last week's game, and looking ahead to this week, what are some key areas that you've kind of focused on so far in practice this week? We're just a few days in as we're taping this here on a Wednesday, but following last week's 8-18 loss to the Lisbon Broncos.
Yeah, great question. Obviously a lot of the focus just has to move forward to Milner or Sargent County prep, right? Like we've got to understand what they're going to try to do to beat us, both offensively and defensively, and then what their special teams looks like. But then in the same breath, you have to worry about the mistakes you made last week and how do we get better in those areas too. So it's really a balancing act. But yeah, for us, it's we still got to do a little bit better job communicating up front on the offensive line and making sure that we're blocking the right people and doing the right things there. And then defensively, a big emphasis on tackling and trying to take the football away and force havoc plays. And last week we had a few of those things, but a lot of times it was second and less than 5 too many times, and that makes it very hard, for a defense to get off the field on 3rd and 4th down.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you guys are 2-2 overall, 2-1 in Region 1 play. How would you sort of assess where your team's progress is so far this season?
I would say we're, probably. Man, that's a good question. And what makes it really hard is we've had some kind of catastrophic injuries, right?
Yeah,
we're missing starting tailback, starting wide receiver, starting tight end, an offensive lineman, So yeah, we have some room to grow in every aspect of the game. Where our progress is, in football, it's never linear, and so much of it is about matchups. And with the way our team is constructed now, that game against Lisbon, not a great matchup for us. I feel like the Milner Sargent game, I keep calling them that. Sargent County game is the Sargent County game for us. I feel like is a little bit better of a matchup for us, just because we can. I feel like we have a little bit of an advantage on the offensive and defensive lines, and we didn't have that last week. And part of that is a little bit of that is because of injuries, but a lot of it has to do with, Lisbon being really good and physical up front.
Yeah, that's a lot to work with. I mean, especially in our smaller schools here, you got a few injuries that really changed the shape of your team for one, and then of course just matching up on every different team is just a little bit different. There's no two teams that you're going to go against that are going to be the same. So yeah, it's got to be a challenge for sure, and I think probably is a little bit the same for a lot of small school. High school football teams. But so far, what kind of in these first couple of days of practice, what's kind of been the message that you've been sharing with your team, I guess, heading into this week's game against the Bulldogs?
Yeah, it's the same every week, right? We understand how you win football games, and you win the line of scrimmage, right? Both offensively and defensively, and we feel like we have an advantage there this week. Defensive line wise, we feel really good about the way our kids are playing up there, and we feel like we can get after the passer a little bit. We feel like we can really affect the running game against the offensive line that we'll see with Sargent County, and then us as a defensive line, as a offensive line, we need to just do a good job of resetting the line of scrimmage. We did not do a very good job of that last week. We need to keep our eyes up and recognize what's coming at us. And then after the line of scrimmage, it's all about explosives and turnovers, right? Mm-hmm. Whichever team creates the most of each of those is going to be the more than likely going to win the football game, right? You can win the football game by turning the football over more if you create more explosive plays on offense, right? Yep. But if you lose the line of scrimmage, it's really hard to win the football game, So those are that's the message and that's the message every week, and 11-man football in North Dakota, if you're just really dominant up front and win line scrimmage, you got a pretty good chance to win all your games. And so that's our focus, and then everything else kind of comes after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, kind of looking ahead, I know some coaches maybe don't like to focus on it until later in the season, but I guess the way I see it right now, the region is kind of a toss-up for some of those playoff spots. A win tonight could potentially boost you up to the number 2 spot, or a loss could drag you down to number 5. And of course, other games in between are going to dictate, all of that. We've got a lot of teams right now in Region 1 at that 2-1 position. We're still kind of early in the season, but we're in the backstretch now, right? We've got Ellendale, Edgeley, Column, Northern Cass, yourselves, and Valley City kind of both in that 2-1 sort of regional record. But with region play sort of heating up, I guess how important is tonight's game for both the team confidence heading into the final stretches of the season, and then in terms of playoff positioning?
Yeah, it means a lot, and it means a lot because it's the game we have to win right now, right? You want to go 1-0 every week, and then it means a lot at the end of the season too, because it's a game that here's the thing, right? You always want to be in a position where you can control your own destiny, right? And if we lose one more game, then we start to really, really don't have much control over what happens after that. And because once you get those 2 losses, then things kind of get funky, right? If you can go through the season with 1 region loss, nobody can take you out, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to be up in one of those 4 spots. So, that's what we got to worry about right now, right? We can't go back and get that game back against Lisbon. They're in the pole position now, and it is what it is. But we can continue to control our own destiny. We win this game, we continue to control our destiny, right? And then you win your next game, then things are pretty clear after that. Mm-hmm. And you might not be able to control where you play or who you play, but you probably guarantee yourself a way in, you know, if you win your next 2 games. So, and that goes for all these 4 teams, you know, that are 2-1 right now. Mm-hmm. Whoever wins the next 2 games has got a really good shot to make it there. And that's what we want. That's our goal. We've done it 8 years in a row here. And we feel like we have the team that can do that, even though we've been dealt kind of a losing hand on the injury front. But we just have to take care of business on Friday night over in Gwinner, and then everything else will work itself out, and we will have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Good words there. Right? Controlling your own destiny. It's never fun. End of the season, you know, you think you might be in it, but you got to wait till you're into your game on the final stretch of the game to hear scores and know if you're going to get in or not. And then, you know, for your seniors to kind of have a moment of maybe you're winning the last game, but boy, it was up to somebody else. So I totally can sympathize with that. So, well, good, Coach. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your week to join me, and best of luck to the Tornadoes this week against Sargent County and to the remainder of the season.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Always enjoy having some coverage on our kids and giving them a chance to be seen from outside our small little corner of the state.
You bet. Much appreciated. That was Oaks Tornadoes head football coach Greg Dobitz. We'll be back with more pregame show on your live event after a word from our sponsors.
This spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
Anderson Seed Farms Incorporated is proud to announce its new partnership with AP Select Seed by AgroPartners. AP Select offers the latest traits and genetics in both corn and soybeans. They're a family-owned company that believes in fair pricing along with unmatched customer support that makes them truly better by choice. Anderson Seed Farms is a certified seed conditioning plant that grows, conditions, and sells Westbred spring wheat seed, which was the top-growing spring wheat in North Dakota last year. Contact Anderson Seed Farms in Foreman at andersonseedfarms.com.
Welcome back to the Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth for the pregame show on your live event. I am Bryce Hogness. Once again, we are here in Gwinner, North Dakota, getting ready to kick off the next game here of the season in Week 6 here at North Sargent Field, where the Sargent County Bulldogs will host the Oaks Tornadoes. Now, the Sargent County Bulldogs traveled over to Cullom last week to take on Ellendale Edgeley Cullom, and they were defeated 49-0, and looking to make a little bit different game here this week against the Tornadoes. I caught up with the 21-year veteran head coach of the football program for the Bulldogs earlier this week ahead of this week's matchup against the Tornadoes, and here's what he had to say. Joining me ahead of this week's matchup against the Oaks Tornadoes, we welcome head coach of the Sargent County Bulldogs, Eric Olson, to the pregame show. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me, Bryce. Good to talk to you again.
Yep. Oh, yes. Always. Well, hey, what, I guess coming into this week, obviously got to get a win column in, something into the win column here during this season. It's a little hard. The season's been a little tough, but what's the overall mood, I guess, in that locker room heading into this week's game?
Well, you know what? This week of practice, we've had a pretty good week of practice. The kids' spirits have been up. We It was a little bit ugly watching the film from Ellendale Edgeley Column on Monday night, but from this last week when we watched film on Monday. But we had a good talk and aired some things out, and hopefully we can move forward. The biggest thing I talked to the guys about is football's an emotional game. You got to play with some fire, and the coaches can't do it for you all the time.
Yep.
As much as we'd like to do it, but it's you got to play with energy, and when someone makes a good play, let's celebrate that, and if not to do anything that'll cause flags, penalty flags, but God, let's have some fun playing a game, and that's what it comes down to, and hopefully we can see a little bit more of that on Friday night against Oaks.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I even saw some of that a couple weeks ago at the last home game in Milner. There was, opportunity to kind of, be in the game, and you could see the boys out on the defense there getting kind of excited and wanting to kind of pool together to make a big stop. So, kind of building on that, what are some of the small victories or moments of progress that you've kind of seen, maybe that the fans might not notice on the scoreboard?
Well, I think we're seeing some improvement on our offensive line, and we know that every week is going to be, we're going to go and be undersized on the offensive line. But just you see it at practice, you see the plays run at practice, and like I said, it's when you see a play develop and block as how it should be, and turns out where it works, it's a beautiful thing when everybody's doing their job. But too many times we've got some guys doing their job and some guys not doing their job, and that's what allows plays to break down. So, and we've got we've had some success, like our JV went over to Oaks on Monday and beat up on Oaks pretty good. We're seeing some excitement out of our younger kids, and some plays being made with them, and so it's kind of fun watching that, and hopefully that'll translate to the older guys, doing the same thing on Fridays.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there, moving on, I guess, to this week's game, are there any specific aspects or maybe specific matchups of this game that you feel like the team can kind of capitalize on?
Well, you always kind of hope that you watch film and you find, okay, maybe we can exploit this matchup or that matchup, and so far it hasn't come to fruition a whole lot, from watching film and turning that over to Friday nights. But I think the kind of fun thing is this week, there's a handful of our kids who have played with the Oaks kids in baseball the last couple of years, so they're very familiar with each other, and I think there's a little bit of smack talking going on. At least there was during the JV game on Monday, but just some back and forth, and it some friendly back and forth, because their teammates, they like each other on when it comes to spring baseball and summer baseball. But I think that's the kind of fun thing here this week is they know who they're going up against, and they're familiar with them after not being familiar with some of these teams the last few years. So I think that'll hopefully put a little bit of drive into them for Friday night and having some success against their teammates.
Yeah, no, you bet. So here we are. It's hard to believe. 5 weeks into the season, we got. There's coming into the 6th, I guess, and this year we've got 9 games. The Sargent County Bulldogs got 9 games. Looking at where you're at, kind of in the season right now, and kind of getting towards that back half. Now, I guess well into the back half after this game kicks off. What are some of the goals for the remainder of the season, kind of both on and off the field for this Bulldogs team?
Well, it's always number one. You want to get in the win column. These first 5 weeks, it's been a struggle sometimes. It sometimes, like I've shown my frustration at times, but you want to get in the win column. Wins and losses aren't everything.
Yep.
One thing that we're doing this week, we're celebrating our teachers. It'll be teacher appreciation, and so these our kids have had to, they've written a letter. They've selected one teacher and written a letter to them, and just show them, just to tell them how much they appreciate what the teachers and staff members. It's not just teachers, but staff members across our schools that were selected, and how much they mean to our school and to the kids in school. And talking to our team, us as teachers, we don't get a whole lot of accolades or a whole lot of celebrations or gifts at times, and sometimes to some teachers, this might be the gift of their year that they get from a kid. So celebrate our teachers and those teachers that are in the trenches every day and going through what many people say that they couldn't be able to do. So we're trying to teach some of the kids some lessons off the field, and as well as what we're trying to work with them and teach them on Mondays through Thursdays and Friday nights.
You bet. What a great tradition you guys have started and gone doing here for the last few years. I remember that last year too. So, Coach, really appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your week to join me. Best of luck to the Bulldogs this week against the Oaks Tornadoes.
All right, appreciate it, Bryce.
You bet. That was the Sargent County Bulldogs head football coach, Eric Olson. We'll be back with more pregame show on your live event after a word from our sponsors.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
The Bison Booster Club, an organization that is rooted in their support of the activities within the Milner Public School District and the City of Milner. They pride themselves on their community involvement in local donations to area projects and sponsorships to help make their community a pleasant place to reside. If you have any questions or are interested in becoming a Booster Club member, you can check out the Bison Booster Club on Facebook or talk with any of the existing members. The Bison Booster Club, helping make their community a better place to live.
All right, welcome back to the pregame show on your live event. My name is Bryce Ognes. Ahead of tonight's matchup here, where the visiting Oaks Tornadoes, 2-2 overall record, take on the Sargent County Bulldogs. So far 0-5 on the season. We're up here in the Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth. Stock Growers Bank is your small town bank and big time partner. With the Stock Growers mobile app, experience banking at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Bank near, so you can go far with Stock Growers Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Well, looking around North Dakota football here, I guess this week tonight going on, we've got a handful of games also on your live event. I'll be sure to clue you in on. First one here, we're gonna look at it. There's 3 other games going on, I guess, in Region 1 and Class 11A football. The first one I will mention is the number 5 Ellendale Edgeley Column Rebels. They travel over to Lisbon to take on the Broncos. Brent Dick on the call over there. And Hillsborough Central Valley is hosting Valley City. That game also on your live event. Other Region 1 game going on. Mayport CG is hosting Northern Cass. Some other 11A games going on kind of around the state in the top 5. Number 4, Park River heads over to Grafton to take on the Spoilers. Number 1, Langdon area Edmore Munich hosts Thompson. Number 2, Killdeer travels to Bowman County. Hosts Bowman County. And the number 3, Velva Garrison Drake Animus will host Ray Powers Lake. Over in the 9-man division, looking at a big rivalry going on over here to the east. We've got Hankinson playing Wyndmere Lidgerwood, and that heated Richland County rivalry game, always a good one every year. Number 3, Linton HMB host New Salem Almont. Griggs Midcota hosts the number 2 Lemoore Litchfield Marion, and Enderlin heads over to Colfax to take on the Richland Colts. Another game going on in 9-man on your live event. Maple River is hosting Hatton Northwood. I believe Chase Miller and Nathan Hoots on the call and on the field for that one. In the 11 AA division, Grand Forks Red River takes on Kindred. Central Cass hosts Wapaton. That game is on your live event. Devils Lake hosts Jamestown. And one other game on your live event tonight. On the Minnesota side, Red Lake County takes on Monoman Waban. Well, we're getting up to the starting lineups here for the teams tonight. And looking ahead, it looks like, I don't know if you could see it previously in the call as the officials were on the field, but Sargent County did win the toss and coin toss, and they did elect to receive the ball. And they'll be receiving from the south heading north. That is from your right to your left. So I will go over starting lineups for the Sargent County offense right now, as well as the Oaks Tornadoes defense. So for the Sargent County Bulldogs, looking ahead here for their offensive squad at left tackle, wearing number 79 is going to be Jacob Creech, the senior. At left guard, the sophomore wearing number 57 is Anthony Furter. At center, a junior wearing number 50 is Connor Olson. At right guard, a sophomore wearing number 51, Cole Fury. And at right tackle, a sophomore wearing number 73 is Luke Mund. For the tight end positions, we've got the senior, number wearing 80, Logan Bope. And at the other tight end position, wearing number 24 is a sophomore, Harry Newstall. At wide receiver, wearing number 2 is a junior, Tristan Peterson. At running back, wearing number and the more fullback type of position, junior number 42 is Charlie Hogness. And the other running back, a senior wearing number 1 is Ryan Ing. At quarterback, number 10, the senior, Jace Fury. Looking over at the Oaks Tornadoes side as they are doing their lineups on that side. So we'll go with the defense for the Tornadoes. At the defensive end position, junior wearing number 77, Trey Miles. Defensive tackle is another junior wearing number 76, Giles Meyer. Defensive tackle is a senior wearing number 75, Levi Nagel. And the other defensive end position, a sophomore, number 52, Jacob Potasic. The middle linebacker is a junior wearing number 15, Andrew Undum. Middle linebacker, a sophomore wearing number 19, is Matvey Dimitrov. There we go. I'll get that one right tonight, guys. The other middle linebacker position is a junior wearing number 20, Matthias Dahlstrom. Other outside linebacker position is a junior wearing number 7, Brody Moore. At cornerbacks, we've got a senior wearing number 16, Zaid Heyer. The other cornerback position, a junior wearing number 9, David Baki. And the safety is a sophomore wearing number 4, Landon Titus. And tonight is a beautiful night here for football. Kind of warm here for, I guess we're about 14 degrees above average. Current temperature right now in Gwinnett is 76 degrees. We'll be dropping a little bit here throughout the game. By 9 o'clock, it'll be 69, so still real nice. The wind is down right now. Was a little breezier earlier in the day. I believe the wind's going to pick up back again around 10 p.m. up to about 15 miles an hour, but right now we're looking at maybe a 5 to 7 mile an hour breeze, so weather not a factor at all this evening for the game. And we will take a quick break here while they're wrapping up the introductions and introduce the coaches. I guess I should introduce the coaches here first for both teams. Sargent County Bulldogs are coached by head coach Eric Olson, who you heard from earlier. Assistant coaches Randy Searstead, Key Nelson, Nick Furch, Tanner Zedeca, Jerry Fawcett, Cade Queen, and Caleb Adams. And for the Oaks Tornadoes, they are coached by who you heard from earlier, Coach Greg Dobitz. Assistant coaches are Hunter Greenmeyer, Sean Kiorian, Nolan Peterson, and Mark Sire. So now we'll take a quick break here. We'll be back for kickoff here in just a few minutes.
The Milner Public School District has a long history of academic, artistic, and athletic achievement and is proud of the programs and education environment offered. A fully accredited educational system, Milner Public School District operates 2 separate school buildings, including Sundale Colony School. Over 85%, that's right, 85% of the graduates of Milner High School attend some form of post-secondary educational institution. You can find more information on the Milner Public School District online at milner.k12.nd.us.
Data shows that half of the pills seized off the street by law enforcement contain a lethal dose of fentanyl. You never know when you might find yourself in the middle of an emergency. Why not be the reason a life can be saved? Narcan provides a safe and easy way to reverse the effects of an opioid in just minutes. You can pick up your Narcan today for free at your local public health office.
This message is brought to you by your local public health unit.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Back here on your live event, this is Bryce Hogness up in the Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth, just ahead of kickoff here, where, as mentioned earlier, the Sargent County Bulldogs did win the coin toss. They elected to receive, and so the Oaks Tornadoes will be kicking off from north to south, and north for you guys is left, south is to the right. Beautiful night here for some high school football, as the 2-2 Oaks Tornadoes are visiting the 0-5 Sargent County Bulldogs. This is a Region 1 contest. And the Oaks Tornadoes have kicked the ball off. Nice deep kick down at about the 16-yard line. And the ball is fielded by Olafson. Olafson gets the ball right around the 32-yard line. Or sorry, not Olafson. Hans Hansen. That was number 16, Hans Hansen, that received the ball. And it looks like they will place that marker right at the 32-yard line, and that is where the Bulldogs will begin their first drive of the game. And the Bulldogs will line up with one in the backfield. That is Ing, 2 receivers off to the near side, 1 to the far side. They'll hand the ball off to Ing, and Ing is stopped right away by the Tornado defense. And that was number 76, Giles Meyer, the junior, with the stop, and that'll push the Bulldogs back about 4 yards on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 14 for Sargent County. And Sargent County lining up with 1 receiver to the near side, 3 off to the far side. Ing in the backfield with Fury. As the ball is snapped, Fury looks to his right. He's got Newstall on the near side, makes a few people miss. And Newstall able to at least get back to the first original line of scrimmage, plus maybe another yard or 2. And they'll pick up about 6 yards on the play. And we'll be sitting at 3rd and 8 here for Sargent County. as the Bulldogs have things spread out again here. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Ing again in the backfield. Fury looks off to his right, has a few people getting to him, but he's able to get the ball off, and the ball is tipped. It looked like it was probably intended again for Newstall, but as Fury was kind of getting chased around on the far side of the field, the ball ended up getting tipped. I didn't quite see who got their finger on that one, but we'll call it an incomplete pass, and it'll be 4th and 8 for Sargent County on their first drive. And Logan Bope is set back to punt the ball. And for the Oaks Tornadoes, David Bakke is set deep, as it's a low punt and takes a bounce right over to Bakke. Bakke's met right away by Sargent County Bulldogs. That was number 57, Anthony Furter, with the immediate stop. And the Oaks Tornadoes will have decent field position. It'll look like they'll mark them right around the 30-yard line. So here we go with 9:42 to go here in the first quarter. The ball is spotted at the 30-yard line for the Oaks Tornadoes' first possession. They're lined up in an I formation. 1 receiver to the near side as the ball is handed off up the middle, and he's able to break through a few tackles until finally Hansen brings him down, but not until he gets a first down. And that's the freshman, Andrew Rosendahl, on the carry, bringing the ball to about the 46-yard line. Pickup of 16 for Rosendahl. Once again, the Tornadoes lined up in an I. They've got 2 receivers here to the near side, and the ball goes to Rosendahl again on the left side, and he's able to follow some blockers and get really far downfield past the 40-yard line into Bulldogs territory for another first down. And they'll spot the ball right at the 40. So Rosendahl picks up another good gain on the play, about 14 yards there, on 2 carries, 30 yards already for the freshman, as they give it to him again up the middle, but this time he is stopped. And again, I believe that was Furter and Mund in on the tackle. Gain of about 1 yard for Rosendahl. And we do not have a game clock here on our scoreboard here over in Gwinner, but the clock right now is at 8:02 and counting. 2nd and 9 for the Oaks Tornadoes. Once again, lined up in that I formation, 1 receiver out to the right. Here, this time they hand it up the middle to the fullback. That's number 19, Matvey Dimitrov. And Dimitrov able to get a decent gain on the play, giving him a 3rd and short situation. And picks up about 6 yards on the play. And we've got a 3rd and 3. Once again in that I formation, this time a receiver to the near and far side. And they hand it up the middle to Rosendahl again. And it looks like he's able to get real close to the first down marker. It looks like he's probably got it. And yes, he'll gain about 4 yards on the play. And that'll be enough for a first down for the Oaks Tornadoes. Ball at about the 29-yard line on the Sargent County side of the field. And they'll hand it off once again up the middle to Dimitrov. And minimal gain on the play. Looks like he maybe just got back to the original line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play, bringing up 2nd and 10 for Sargent County. 6:12 to go here and running on the game clock here in the first quarter. And they hand it off to Rosendahl, the freshman up the middle, and he's able to get a nice gain. And he picks up about 8 yards on the play. Rosendahl picks up 8 yards. And it will be, it looks like they'll maybe get him back a little further. 7 yards on the play, bringing up 3rd and a long 3 for the Tornadoes. I formation, one to the left, one to the right. And this time, Thorpe will go roll to his right, and he's got a man downfield. That is number 7 for the Oaks Tornadoes, Brody Moore, the junior, tight end. And that'll move the chains again here for the Tornadoes. And they'll spot the ball right around the 10-yard line. And they'll look like they'll do a sweep off to the far side, and that's number 6, Rosendahl. Rosendahl able to pick up about 2 yards on the play. And as mentioned, they are inside the 10-yard line here, so it is 2nd and goal for the Oaks Tornadoes. Once again, one to the right, one to the left, an I formation. Thorpe takes the snap, rolls around to his right side, looks over it, and he's got a man. That is number 20 for the Oaks Tornadoes. That is Matthias Dahlstrom. And Dahlstrom does get close to the end zone there. Fielded right around the 1-yard line, so they're real close, and Thorpe will keep the ball, diving in, and the officials will call that a touchdown. Thorpe with the rushing touchdown. And 6 on the board here with 4:15 to go in the first as they're going to kick the extra point. And it's Zaid Heyer, the place kicker. And it is up and good. So here we sit, 7-0 off the Thorpe rushing touchdown for the for the Oaks Tornadoes. 4:15 to go. We'll be back here in just a minute.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting what's important in life.
Get in touch with David Bergerman today at 701-724-6252.
The Bison Booster Club, an organization that is rooted in their support of the activities within the Milner Public School District and the City of Milner. They pride themselves on their community involvement in local donations to area projects.
All right, back here in Gwinner, North Dakota, as the Sargent County Bulldogs hosting the Oaks Tornadoes. Oaks Tornadoes able to get a touchdown early on here with 4:15 to go in the first. And it was Thorpe who had the quarterback keeper. And Tornadoes kick it off. They do a good job kicking it off down inside the 10-yard line. And it's Ryan Ing that's got the ball. And Ing has shown he's got some speed and can get away from people, and he's got a nice return on this play and brings the ball to about the 42, 43-yard line. We will see where they spot it. And it looks like they will place him down at the 40. He probably got his knee down somewhere in there. A little ahead of where I maybe had seen it. But Bulldogs take over here. 40-yard line on the on the Sargent County side of the field. And Bulldogs line up on an I, one to the left, one to the right, and we've got a dead ball whistle. So we have a false start on the offense. That'll put the Bulldogs back 5 yards, making it 1st and 15 for Sargent County. At the 35-yard line. Sargent County once again in the I formation with Hognes and Ing in the backfield. And they'll hand the ball off to Ing. And Ing will not be able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It looks like they'll lose 2 yards on that play. So it'll be 2nd and 16 for Sargent County. 3:38 on the game clock as a few Bulldogs check in and out of the game. First drive for the Oaks Tornadoes. They went 70 yards on 12 plays. Touchdown in from the quarterback on a sneak. And the ball is pitched out off to the left near side. But he is tackled by the shirt there. And the run there was by number 9, Eli Olson for Sargent County. And they lost about another 2 yards on the play. So we've got a 3rd and 17, maybe 18 yards for the Bulldogs on their second drive here of the game. So the Bulldogs spreading things out a little bit here this play. And Fury rolls off to the far side and has got a man downfield and just above where he could maybe grab that ball. Pass was intended for Olafson on that play. Was just a little far for him. Looked like it touched kind of his fingertips. And so no go. It'll be probably another 3 and out here for Sargent County. And Logan Bope is going to line up in the punt formation. Baki again out deep to receive. And the ball is paw blocked. And it goes out of bounds kind of towards the press box here. And so that'll be a very short punt for Sargent County as a hand got up there. And we'll see where they end up placing the ball. It went almost sideways as soon as it was blocked. So it looks like they'll place that ball right around the 33-yard line, and that is where, with 2:24 to go, the Oaks Tornadoes will take over on 1st and 10. And the ball is handed off up the middle. That's number 20, Matthias Dahlstrom. And Dahlstrom able to pick up a handful of yards on the play. Looks like they'll give him about 4 yards. So 2nd and 6 for the Oaks Tornadoes as they once again line up in an I formation. One receiver to the left, one to the right. And they'll hand the ball off. And that goes to Rosendahl. And Ryan Ing is there to make the stop, but not before they get a first down here. And that'll bring the ball to about the 22-yard line. Pickup of 7 there for Rosendahl. So from the 22-yard line, 1st and 10, 1:16 to go and counting in the first quarter as Thorpe hands the ball off to Rosendahl again up the middle. And he's met by a handful of Bulldogs, including Neustel and Furter on the stop. And 3 yards again here for Rosendahl as he continues to kind of chew through the Bulldog defense, picking up quite a few yards so far on 8 carries. We'll get those tallied up here shortly, but the freshman doing a very good job in the backfield. He's got the height, he's got the ability to kind of see the field and wait for some blocks and pick up some yards here for the Oaks Tornadoes. This time they're in a shotgun formation. One man in the backfield with Thorpe. Thorpe looks off to his right side, throws the ball deep down towards the end zone, and he's got somebody there, and it is incomplete. Good coverage on defense there. That was a pair of number 16s on each other. Hans Hansen was the defenseman against Zaid Heyer, and that ball will fall incomplete. So far, kind of a rare 3rd and long situation here so far today for the Oaks Tornadoes, as it's 3rd and 7. Ball is placed around the 19-yard line. And once again, spreading things out a little bit. Thorpe's got 1 in the backfield, 2 split off to the right, 1 to the left, and he essentially throws that one away. It's hard for me to tell if there was even a man intended there. I don't know. He must have been throwing it to somebody, otherwise it would have been a grounding. He was definitely inside the pocket. But either way, it's 4th down and 7 yards to go for another pass incomplete here for Thorpe. So 1 man in the backfield, 1 to the right, 3 to the left. Thorpe drops back, looks off, and scrambles around and is able to get the ball off. And the ball is caught close to the end zone. And that was Bakke. Did they give him a touchdown? Was that a touchdown? So Bakke able to get the ball as Thorpe scrambles and catches the ball on 4th down and 7 and brings the ball to the 1-yard line. That'll do it here for the first quarter. We'll be back here after just a minute.
Community, a pleasant place to reside. If you have any questions or are interested in becoming a Booster Club member, you can check out the Bison Booster Club on Facebook or talk with any of the existing members. The Bison Booster Club, helping make their community a better place to live.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Milner Grain understands that agriculture is your livelihood, and we're committed to providing you with the highest quality of services to meet your farming needs. Milner Grain has a passion for our community and the farmers we serve. Milner Grain is locally owned and operated. When you're looking for a partner in the field, look to Milner Grain. Call 701-427-5284 or check out Milner Grain's app with current up-to-date prices. Milner Grain is here to help you and your
All right, we've got a 1st and goal from about the 1 or 2 yard line here for the Tornadoes as Thorpe hands the ball off to the middle. That is number 19 for the, that's Dimitrov. And we don't have any calls officially from. He did, okay. Must have been the other judge that I couldn't quite see here. Did call it a touchdown, so Dimitrov gets in for a touchdown, putting 6 more points up on the board. And they'll kick the extra point here as you take this good snap, good kick. And that'll be another point here on the board for the visiting Oaks Tornadoes. So with 11:53 to go here in the second quarter, the visiting Oaks Tornadoes 14, Sargent County Bulldogs 0. We'll be back in a minute.
The Milner Public School District has a long history of academic, artistic, and athletic achievement and is proud of the programs and education environment offered. A fully accredited educational system, Milner Public School District operates 2 separate school buildings, including Sundale Colony School. Over 85%, that's right, 85% of the graduates of Milner High School attend some form of post-secondary educational institution. You can find more information on the Milner Public School District online at milner.k12.nd.us.
Buying and selling heavy equipment at purplewave.com saves time and money. We handle all of the details, including pictures, videos, marketing, titles, and payments.
It was almost immediately over the top with the customer service.
All right, back here in Gwinner outside of North Sargent High School. The score right now 14-0 with the Oaks Tornadoes on top of the North Sargent County Bulldogs as the ball is fielded right around the 5-yard line. We got a flag down on the field, and Hans Hansen brings the ball up to around the 22-23-yard line, but we'll see what the flag is on the field. And a hold on the Sargent County Bulldogs side will back the ball up a little bit here, depending on where the spot of the foul is at. And we'll see where they place them. They're going to place them right around the 12-yard line. And so Sargent County will begin their third drive of the game right around the 12-yard line, first and 10. And the ball goes out to Ing. Ing able to get a decent gain on the play. 6 yards for Ryan Ing. So screen play over to Ing, picks up 6 yards on the play. And they snap the ball in the I formation. That'll go to Ing again. And Ing is met by the Oaks Tornadoes right at the line of scrimmage. And no gain on the play for Ing. So it'll be 3rd and 4 for the Bulldogs. As the Tornadoes make their way up to defend the Bulldogs here. Bulldogs in that I formation again. Just one receiver off to the left and 2 tight ends. And they'll pitch the ball off, and that's over to number 9, Eli Olson. Eli able to break a few tackles, and he'll have enough for a first down. It'll be a gain of about 5 yards on the play, 5-6 yards on the play for Eli Olson. And they'll have the ball at about the 24-yard line. So we'll give them 6 on that play. I formation, 1 to the far side of the field. And they'll hand the ball off up the middle. And minimal gain on the play. Charlie Hogness on the run for about 1 yard. So it'll bring up 2nd and 9 for Sargent County. Game clock here at 9 minutes and 10 seconds and counting, as Bulldogs have one man in the backfield with Fury. Two split off to the far side, one on the near side as Fury rolls off to his left, throws the ball downfield, and he's got Newstill past the 40-yard line, and he's still going past the 50, getting into the Oaks Tornadoes territory, and finally down at about the 46, 47-yard line. And that'll be a nice pickup there for Sargent County. They'll place the ball at the 47-yard line. So a pickup of about 26 on that play for Newstill and Fury. And the Bulldogs, once again, one man in the backfield. That's Hogness. They'll send a man in motion. And Fury will keep the ball off to the left side and is able to get a few yards on the play before he's forced out of bounds. And they'll give Fury about a yard on the play. Bringing up 2nd and 9 for Sargent County. Bulldogs spread things out a little bit. They've got a little bit of confusion on the sideline of the Bulldogs. And Olson calls a timeout. Our timeouts here on your live event are brought to you by Bank North. Bank North has been a trusted financial partner for generations, helping customers and communities build, grow, and prosper. To see what values-based banking can do for you, visit banknorth.bank today. Bank North is a member FDIC, an equal housing lender. We'll be back in a few seconds.
Before with any other auction service, they're constantly working for me as the seller, and I really like that.
Purple Wave Auction is straight, simple, sold.
The Sargent Central Dollars for Scholars chapter is a nonprofit foundation that supports academic success in the community. The mission is to mobilize the community on behalf of post-secondary education success for the students. Dollars for Scholars chapters help hometown students achieve their educational goals by raising scholarship funds, establishing endowments, and more. For more information, scan the QR code on screen or stop by the Sargent Central School District. This game is brought to you in part by Joe's Fertilizer Supply.
Back here at North Sargent High School, we got a 2nd and 9 here for Sargent County. And the ball will get flipped off to Ing on the near side as he's got a little bit of room, a little stiff arm, and he's able to escape a few more. And down the sidelines, I know you couldn't quite see it. Depending on where they say he stepped out of bounds, it was hard to see from here, but it was definitely enough for a first down. And the Bulldogs move the chains once again. They'll spot the ball down at about the 33-yard line. So big play there for the Bulldogs as they send Ing in motion. And Fury throws the ball to his intended receiver and wasn't quite able to hold on to it. Did hit him in the hands, but number 2, Tristan Peterson, could not quite hold on to that ball. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Sargent County. Fury takes the snap, throws the ball downfield off to the far side, and very well this time, Tristan Peterson able to come down with the ball. And the Bulldogs are driving. That's going to get to around the 10-yard line. We will see where they spot that one, but it looks pretty darn close to the 10 as Fury connects with Peterson on that one after a drop pass. He said, hey, I'm going to give you another chance, and Peterson got in there on a well-defended play and was able to come down with it. And the Bulldogs will have the ball at the 10. It looks like they've pulled the chains, so it's going to be a first and goal situation here for Sargent County as they've got two receivers split off to the right, two to the left, and they're going to send a man in motion. That's Eli Olson. They're going to give him the ball, and Olson able to get up another sizable gain on the play. And the ball will be right around the 6-yard line as the Bulldogs once again spread things out a little bit. Two men to the left, one receiver to the right, and Ing in the backfield. They'll send a man in motion, and Fury throws the ball, and it looks like it's intercepted in the end zone. And I believe that was number 9 back there. David Bakke, that is correct. Bakke with the interception on the play. And after a very successful drive for Sargent County, gets ended here with an interception and in the end zone. So the Oaks Tornadoes will take over at the 20. 6:38 to go. And the ball will go right up the middle there. Didn't quite get back to the front of the camera there to see. 1 second. And that was Matthias Dahlstrom on the carry. Picks up about 8 yards on the play. So the Tornadoes come back to the line of scrimmage in their I formation, one off to the left, one to the right, and they'll hand the ball off to that freshman running back right up the middle. And that's Rosendahl. And Rosendahl picks up, looks like it'll be a no gain on the play. And it looks like Logan Bope was in there on that tackle as well. Tornadoes again in their pretty standard formation, that I with one to the left, one to the right. They're going to hand it up the middle to their fullback. And that's Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom on that one. Dahlstrom picks up enough yards there for the Tornadoes. Picks up about 3. And that'll be another 1st and 10 for the Oaks Tornadoes. Ball at about the 32-yard line as Thorpe rolls off to his right. Got a little bit of pressure, but's got a man downfield past the 40, close to the midfield line. He'll get out of bounds probably around the 47. And the clock here looks like it is still running. Nope, it did pause, so he did get out of bounds. And pickup of about 15 yards on the play. And they'll hand the ball up to Rosendahl up the middle. Rosendahl able to break a few tackles. Gets a nice 5-6 yard gain on that play as well. As the Tornadoes come to the line, Bulldogs in their 4-4 offense on this one. 4-4 defense, I should say. Ball is handed off to Dimitrov. And Dimitrov not quite able to get to the first down marker. Picks up about 3 on the play. And we've got a 3rd and 1 situation. And almost could have been a... Looks like they're waiting for a little word from the coach there. And the ball is... Thorpe throws the ball downfield, and he's got a man. It's contested, and he comes down with it. Incomplete pass. He was out of bounds. And that was Zaid Heyer, the intended receiver. And he came down with that ball, but must have not gotten a foot in before going out of bounds. But a nice connection either which way, just a little outside. And so it'll be 4th and 1 for the Oaks Tornadoes. And they will call, Greg Dobitz will call their first timeout of the first half here. And we'll be back here with more football action in 1 minute.
Teens are faced with tough decisions all the time, and parents aren't always there when it happens. But that doesn't mean they can't influence their kids to make the right choice, because making that right choice is easier when the wrong one isn't an option. When your teen faces peer pressure, what you give them access to can make all the difference. This message is brought to you by your local public health unit.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
All right, we are back here on a 4th and 1 situation for the Oaks Tornadoes. We've got 3:26 to go in the second quarter, and the ball hand is off to the freshman, Rosendahl. Rosendahl powers through, easily able to get that first down, and he's going to pick up about 8 yards on the play, and it'll be 1st and 10 again for the Oaks Tornadoes. Ball is placed at the 37-yard line on the Bulldog side of the field. Once again, 3 minutes and counting on the game clock. Sorry, I had the first quarter up there for a little while into the second, but it is the second quarter. We're looming that halftime. And 2 receivers off to the left. And they're going to hand the ball off to Dimitrov up the middle. And Dimitrov able to pick up a little gain on the play of about 4 yards. And it'll be 2nd and 6 for the Oaks Tornadoes. Ball placed right around the 33-yard line. Be sure to stick around at halftime here. I should have some updates from other games going on around North Dakota in this region, as well as 11A across the state 9-man games and some AA and AAA games. But here go the Oaks Tornadoes on a 2nd and 6. Thorpe hands the ball off up the middle. And that is taken, got a few yards on the play. That's Matthias Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom picks up a few more yards on the play. We'll call it 3. So 3rd and 3. Lined up in the eye, they're going to hand the ball off again, and that's Dahlstrom up the middle, and he's got a few men to beat. Sargent County in there trying to strip the ball away unsuccessfully, but they do get him down. It looks like they will spot him inside the 10-yard line. So the chains are going to drop. It's going to be a 1st and goal, and it looks like the ball is placed probably right around the 9. And the ball once again goes to Rosendahl. Rosendahl picks up about 4 yards on the play. And second and goal for the Oaks Tornadoes. As we near the end of the half, there's 44 seconds left to go. Both teams have got 2 timeouts here, so the Oaks Tornadoes probably wanted to wind down the clock as much as they can, but he is stopped right away. It looks like Hognes, Bope, and Furter all in on the play. And they'll call a timeout here with 31 seconds to go. We will stick around here, and so Rosendahl looked like he had gotten maybe a yard on the carry. Or gain of, that was, looks like it was about 0 yards on the play. So coming up here in just a few minutes, as mentioned, 31.7 seconds to go here in the first half. Oaks Tornadoes have a 14-0 lead, but stick around at halftime. We will broadcast some of the scores from around the league, as well as a few stats to put out there, how we got to the score that we're at here at half. Could very well change. As I mentioned, a couple of teams, a couple of timeouts left here for Sargent County, so we will see if they are able to get the ball back here either after a score or from a kickoff, and have some timeouts to work with here. So third and goal. The ball is inside the 5-yard line, and Thorpe rolls around to his right, looking at a few receivers, and the ball is batted away, and the receivers were well defended. That was Hansen getting his hands up there and deflecting the ball, but we do have a penalty on the play. An eligible man downfield. So Olson has the option to either decline, keep him on 4th down, or push him back a few yards. That penalty is going to be declined, which I thought maybe was the case. So they'll keep the 4th down, and we'll keep the clock at 26.3 seconds to go here in the first half. Oaks Tornadoes driving. They started this possession down at the 20-yard line after an interception, and looking to capitalize off that one here before the end of the first half, as they'll line up here in a shotgun, and we've got another whistle and a timeout again here by the Tornadoes. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back at you in just a few minutes. 26.3 seconds to go here in the second half. Sargent County Bulldogs 0, Oaks Tornadoes 14.
Fall is here, and that means harvest will ramp up quickly. How did your planter do this spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
Anderson Seed Farms Incorporated is proud to announce its new partnership with AP Select Seed by AgroPartners. AP Select offers the latest traits and genetics in both corn and soybeans. They're a family-owned company that believes in fair pricing along with unmatched customer support that makes them truly better by choice. Anderson Seed Farms is a certified seed conditioner.
All right, back here on a 4th and goal situation. Ball is inside the 5-yard line, and Thorpe's back to throw it, and incomplete. Right through the hands of the intended receiver. That was number 16, Zaid Heyer, and it'll be a turnover on downs with 23.5 seconds to go. And ball placed, it was on the 5-yard line. I thought from here it looked like it was maybe inside the 5, but it was right on the 5. And Olson and crew will see what if they want to try to take a stab here, pretty short time frame, 23.5 seconds. I know you folks at home cannot quite see, but 23.5 seconds. Bulldogs line up in an I formation, and Fury will kneel the ball, and that'll bring it into halftime. So here we are at halftime. The visiting Oaks Tornadoes with 14 points. The Sargent County Bulldogs 0. Stick around here for the halftime show. We will be going over how we got here in today's game, as well as other scores around. And our halftime show is brought to you by Farmers Union David Bergerman Insurance Agency. We'll be back in a minute.
Sells Westbred Spring Wheat Seed, which was the top growing spring wheat in North Dakota last year. Contact Anderson Seed Farms in Foreman at andersonseedfarms.com.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
The Bison Booster Club, an organization that is rooted in their support of the activities within the Milner Public School District and the City of Milner. They pride themselves on their community involvement in local donations to area projects and sponsorships to help make their community a pleasant place to reside. If you have any questions or are interested in becoming a Booster Club member, you can check out the Bison Booster Club on Facebook or talk with any of the existing members. The Bison Booster Club, helping make their community a better place to live. The Milner Public School District has a long history of academic, artistic, and athletic achievement and is proud of the programs and education environment offered. A fully accredited educational system, Milner Public School District operates 2 separate school buildings, including Sundale Colony School. Over 85%, that's right, 85% of the graduates of Milner High School attend some form of post-secondary educational institution. You can find more information on the Milner Public School District online at milner.k12.nd.us.
Data shows that half of the pills seized off the street by law enforcement contain a lethal dose of fentanyl. You never know when you might find yourself in the middle of an emergency. Why not be the reason a life can be saved? Narcan provides a safe and easy way to reverse the effects of an opioid in just minutes. You can pick up your Narcan today for free at your local public health office.
This message is brought to you by your local public health unit.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the sportsman club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting what's important in life.
Get in touch with David Bergerman today at 701-724-6252.
The Bison Booster Club, an organization that is rooted in their support of the activities within the Milner Public School District and the City of Milner. They pride themselves on their community involvement in local donations to area projects and sponsorships to help make their community a pleasant place to reside. If you have any questions or are interested in becoming a Booster Club member, you can check out the Bison Booster Club on Facebook or talk with any of the existing members. The Bison Booster Club, helping make their community a better place to live.
All right, we are back here in the Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth. It is halftime of the Sargent County Bulldogs and Oaks Tornadoes game. The Oaks Tornadoes, the visiting team, with 14 points on the board. They are 2-2 on the season. And the home Sargent County Bulldogs with 0 on the board. They are 0-5 on the season so far. Well, our halftime show, as mentioned just before here, is brought to you by Farmers Union David Bergman Insurance Agency. The insurance agency is your headquarters for home, auto, life, farm, and ranch, business, crop, and health insurance. Not all products are underwritten by Farmers Union Insurance, but you can call 701-724-6252 for more information. Well, here we are on the halftime show. A little update on how we got here. So, overall team stats, the Sargent County Bulldogs had 4 possessions, resulting in a punt. The next one was a punt that was also blocked, an interception in the end zone, and then the only play that was ran on the last possession for Sargent County was knelt down when they got it back with 23 seconds to go. For the Oaks Tornadoes, 3 possessions, and the first 2 resulted in a touchdown, and the last one they were able to drive down towards the end zone at the 5-yard line. Couldn't quite convert on the 4th down. So the scoring plays so far, with 4:15 to go in the first quarter, the Oaks Tornadoes drove downfield and were able to take the ball on their first possession from the 30-yard line, drive it all the way down 70 yards, and end that drive with a touchdown by Thorpe, who did the quarterback keeper, ran it in. The point after was good, bringing the score to 7-0. And then later on in the second quarter, with 11:53 to go, just at the beginning of the second, the Tornadoes' next possession was a short one. They had 33 yards basically to go on that one. That resulted in a touchdown by Dimitrov. Ran it in for 2 yards, and the point after kick was good, bringing us to 14-0. And some other scores going on around the state of North Dakota for football. We'll check in on some of those. So in the 11A division, the one that we are in now, in Region 1 play, as mentioned earlier, Ellendale Edgeley Column is playing the Lisbon Broncos. That game on your live event. Right now, latest score update just before halftime. Ellendale Edgeley Column has got 29, and the Lisbon Broncos have 6. Hillsborough Central Valley is on top of Valley City, 14-0. Northern Cass is on top of Mayport CG, 20-0. Some other games going on around the state in that division. Harvey Wells County is on top of Rugby, 14-6. Bottineau on top of Tioga, 34-0. Central McLean, 6-0 over top of Shiloh Christian. The number 4 ranked Park River area is on top of the Spoilers from Grafton, 39-8 with 3 minutes left to go in the game. The number 2 ranked Killdeer is on top of Bowman at 19-18. Carrington on top of Turtle Mountain, 33-0. And number 3 ranked Velva Garrison Drake Animus on top of Ray Powers Lake, 36-6. The number 1 ranked team, Langdon area Edmore Munich, is playing Thompson. Do not have a score update on that one. Switching over to the 9-man division, that big rivalry game we mentioned prior to our neighbors here to the east in Richland County. The Hankinson Pirates have an 8-6 advantage over the Wyomere Lidgerwood Warbirds. Final score from over in Hettinger, Napoleon Gackle Streeter defeats Hettinger Scranton 48-8. Number 4 ranked Alex Surrey also defeated Alexander defeated Surrey, 52-8. And Larimore is on top of Nelson County right now, 20-14. Another a couple ranked games that are going on right now, at least with the number 2, Lemoore Litchfield Marion is on top of Grigsby Dakota 34-0, and the number 1 ranked New Rockford Cheyenne Maddock is on top of Midway Minto 60-12. Another local game going on for this area in 9-man football. Richland on top of Enderlin 14-0 with 6 minutes left to go in the first half. Looking on to the 11 AA division, Grand Forks Central on top of Fargo South 41-38. Kindred is on top of Grand Forks Red River 42-7. Central Cass on top of Wahpeton 32-0 with a minute left to go in the first half. And Minot North with a 28-0 lead over Bismarck St. Mary's at the halftime break. And looking on to the AAA division, West Fargo Horace with a 48-7 lead over Fargo North. 9 minutes left to go in that game. Bismarck Legacy on top of Williston 21-6. The number 1 ranked Shanley is on top of West Fargo 36-21 with 7 minutes left to go in the game. And Bismarck on top of Minot 21-0 at half. We'll be back with a little bit more pregame show. We've got a few minutes to go left before the second half kicks off. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back here in just a minute with second half action in 11A football here on your live event.
Is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Milner Grain understands that agriculture is your livelihood, and we're committed to providing you with the highest quality of services to meet your farming needs. Milner Grain has a passion for our community and the farmers we serve. Milner Grain is locally owned and operated. When you're looking for a partner in the field, look to Milner Grain. Call 701-427-5284 or check out Milner Grain's app with current up-to-date prices. Milner Grain is here to help you and your farm grow.
The Milner Public School District has a long history of academic, artistic, and athletic achievement and is proud of the programs and education environment offered. A fully accredited educational system, Milner Public School District operates 2 separate school buildings, including Sundale Colony School. Over 85%, that's right, 85% of the graduates of Milner High School attend some form of post-secondary educational institution. You can find more information on the Milner Public School District online at milner.k12.nd.us.
Buying and selling heavy equipment at purplewave.com saves time and money. We handle all of the details, including pictures, videos, marketing, titles, and payments.
It was almost immediately over the top with the customer service. I've just never ever experienced that before with any other auction service. They're constantly working for me as the seller, and I really like that.
Purple Wave Auction is straight, simple, sold.
The Sargent Central Dollars for Scholars chapter is a nonprofit foundation that supports academic success in the community. The mission is to mobilize the community on behalf of post-secondary education success for the students. Dollars for Scholars chapters help hometown students achieve their educational goals by raising scholarship funds, establishing endowments, and more. For more information, scan the QR code on screen or stop by the Sargent Central School District. This game is brought to you in part by Jones Fertilizer Supply.
Teens are faced with tough decisions all the time, and parents aren't always there when it happens. But that doesn't mean they can't influence their kids to make the right choice, because making that right choice is easier when the wrong one isn't an option. When your teen faces peer pressure, what you give them access to can make all the difference. This message is brought to you by your local public health unit.
All right, back here outside of North Sargent High School for some Class 11A football between a couple of Region 1 teams. The 2-2 Oaks Tornadoes, 2-1 in region play, taking on the Sargent County Bulldogs, who are 0-5 on the season, 0-3 in regular season in Region 1 play. And, of course, went over a few stats here during this halftime. A couple other ones to report on here, I guess. Rosendahl for Oaks on 13 rushes for 72 yards leads the way for them. Thorpe on passing, 4 of 8 for 54 yards. And on the Sargent County side, Eli Olson, 2 carries, 13 yards for the Bulldogs. That is the high on the rushing side. Jace Fury, 4 of 6 for 51 yards so far. And if you watch the beginning of the game, you notice that the Sargent County Bulldogs won the coin toss, and they chose to receive. So it is their turn to kick off to the Oaks Tornadoes, and they'll be kicking from right to left here. That is south to north. As Rosendahl is set back deep to receive the ball. And Tristan Peterson getting that ball ready to kick off here. And here we go, second half action ready to begin. And there we go as Peterson kicks the ball off, and that is fielded right around the 22-yard line. And the ball will be brought to about the 37. And that, again, on the play was their running back, Andrew Rosendahl. And sorry, that ball will be placed on about the 38-yard line is where they'll begin their first drive of the second half. And the Tornadoes line up in an I. They hand the ball off to Rosendahl up the middle, and he's met right away by a few Bulldogs. And that was Furter and Mund in on the stop. And the Bulldogs are able to hold the Tornadoes to 0 gain on that play, bringing up 2nd and 10 for the Oaks Tornadoes. And the Tornadoes spreading it out a little bit here this time. 3 men off to the far left, 1 to the near side, 1 in the backfield. And Thorpe rolls around to his left side, throws the ball downfield. He's got a man, and he's got a man to beat, and he is able to get down inside the 20-yard line. And that pass was complete to number 16, Zaid Heyer. And Heyer gets the ball down to, let's see where they'll mark him. And that'll be at about the 16-yard line. And the ball taken up the middle. And that's Dimitrov. Dimitrov gets a nice gain of about 6 yards on the play. And the Tornadoes line up in an I formation. 1 receiver to the right, and it looks like the ball is loose, and it's still loose, and picked up by the running back, runs around to the far side and gets in for a touchdown. Rosendahl, the ball was fumbled around a few times there. Nobody seems to know exactly where it is, but Rosendahl picked that ball up and ran it in for 6. And they'll attempt to kick the extra point. That's higher on the kick as the kicker here. Ball is snapped. Good snap. Good hold. And right through. And here it is, 21-0. Oaks Tornadoes on top of the Sargent County Bulldogs. And the time left here is 9:42 in the third quarter. We'll be back in a minute.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
Fall is here, and that means harvest will ramp up quickly. How did your planter do this spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com.
And back here after the Tornadoes scored another touchdown. The Bulldogs set deep to receive at about the 15-yard line. And that is number 16 for Sargent County, Hansen. And Hansen brings the ball to, we'll call it the 34-yard line. And the Bulldogs step up to the line on their 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Two receivers off to the right, two to the left. They send Neustel in motion, and they'll pitch it to Neustel on the right side, but he's met by the Tornadoes immediately, and they're going to lose a handful of yards on that play. And they're going to lose about 6. And Neustel minus 6 yards on that one. And the Sargent County Bulldogs are faced with a 2nd and 16 here as the clock keeps winding at 9:05 to go in the third quarter. Bulldogs once again spreading it out. Two to the left, two to the right. Fury drops back, throws the ball, has got a man. That's Neustel. Neustel's going to get a few yards of those back that he lost. And yes, he'll bring them right back to about the original line of scrimmage. So that'll be 6 yards on the board for Fury to Neustel. And we'll be back at a 3rd and 10 for Sargent County on their first drive here of the second half. As Fury takes the ball in shotgun, they've got pressure off to the right side. Fury scrambles off to the right, and he's able to get a first down. It looks like he got a first down from right here. We'll see. It looks like he'll get pushed out of bounds here just before that. About 9 yards on the play for Fury. And it will be 4th and 1 for Sargent County. And the Bulldogs call a timeout. Our timeouts here are brought to you by Bank North. And we'll be back in just a minute.
Anderson Seed Farms Incorporated is proud to announce its new partnership with AP Select Seed by AgroPartners. AP Select offers the latest traits in genetics in both corn and soybeans. They're a family-owned company that believes in fair pricing along with unmatched customer support that makes them truly better by choice. Anderson Seed Farms is a certified seed conditioning plant that grows, conditions, and sells Westbred spring wheat seed, which was the top-growing spring wheat in North Dakota last year. Contact Anderson Seed Farms in Foreman at andersonseedfarms.com.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we.
All right, back here on 4th and 1 for Sargent County on their opening drive of the second half as the Bulldogs split 2 receivers on the near side, 2 to the far side. Hard count by Fury, looking to get somebody to jump, and he'll take the ball, he'll hand it up off the middle, and they've got a first down, and Sargent County able to get a few more yards on the play. That was Eli Olson. And Eli Olson picks up a few yards, just enough, and then some for a first down for Sargent County. That'll place the ball right at the 46-yard line. So 3 yards on the play for Olson. So far for the Bulldogs, he is their leading rusher with about 15 yards. And the ball is snapped right to Newstall. Newstall's going to throw it off to the far left side to Olafson. And Olafson able to get across the 50-yard line. And they'll get about 7 on the play. So Newstall with a pass on the day. Picks up 7 for himself. And sorry, that was number 16, Hans Hansen. I'm always mixing up 12 and 16 there. Sorry, fellas. But Hansen on the reception, picking up 7 yards. And the direct snap again to Newstall. Newstall's going to hand the ball off over to Eli Olson. And he's going to get to just gain maybe a yard on the play. 1 yard for the Bulldogs. It'll be 3rd and 3. And ball spotted right at about the 47-yard line on the Oaks Tornadoes side of the field. Bulldogs spreading things out again. 2 men to the far, 2 to the near. Ball is handed off again up the middle, and that again is Eli Olson. Eli Olson picking up about 7 yards again on the play. And the Bulldogs will continue on their drive. Ball down at the 41-yard line. Once again, spreading things out a little bit. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. And Fury back in under the helm. And he's going to throw the ball off to the near side. And that's Hans Hansen. Hans Hansen is pushed out of bounds. And there'll be virtually a gain of about a yard on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 9. And the clock right now is at 4:47. As the Bulldogs once again spreading things out. And he's going to hand the ball off right away to Eli Olson again. And Olson doesn't quite get, I don't think, to the original line of scrimmage on that one. Back it up a yard.
Eli Olson on the carry. No gain on the play. Tackled by Levi Nagel.
And it'll be 3rd and 10 for Sargent County. Ball right back at that 41-yard line. So here come the Bulldogs, 4:10 to go in the third quarter. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. They're going to send a man in motion off to the right. And Fury drops back and throws it out of the hands of Tristan Peterson. And that was a little short for Peterson. Couldn't quite get back to the ball in time. And it'll be 4th and 10 for Sargent County. And the Bulldogs will go for it. Same formation as last. Fury takes the snap, drops back, has got pressure, and throws the ball over the head of his intended receiver. That was Eli Olson. And the Bulldogs will turn over on downs. And now with 3:56 to go in the third quarter, the Oaks Tornadoes will take the ball over at the 41-yard line, and they'll have 59 yards to march towards their end zone to try and put a few more points on the board here against this Bulldog defense. Tornadoes in kind of their standard formation, I formation, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. They're going to hand the ball off up the middle, and that is number 20, Matthias Dahlstrom. And Matthias Dahlstrom is going to pick up about 6 yards on the play, bringing up 2nd and 4 for the Oaks Tornadoes.
Brings up 2nd and 4 for the Tornadoes.
Once again, I formation to the near side is higher. And they're going to hand the ball off to Dimitrov up the middle, and Dimitrov's got enough for a first down. He's going to pick up about 6 yards on the play. And Dimitrov keeps adding some more yards to his list here today. And the Oaks Tornadoes keep another drive alive. And they've got a fresh set of downs. Ball will be placed at around the 47-yard line on the Sargent County side of the field. And this time one receiver to the near side. They'll pitch the ball out to Rosendale off to the left side, and he's met by Furterer right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play for Rosendahl. As Sargent County does a few substitutions. And the Tornadoes keep kind of taking their time to the line of scrimmage. There's 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Want to work that clock down as much as they can. And a timeout is called on the field. The Tornadoes call their first timeout of the second half. So we'll stick around here for this break, this timeout break. And of course, the timeouts are brought to you by Bank North. Bank North has been a trusted financial partner for generations, helping customers and communities build, grow, and prosper. To see what values-based banking can do for you, visit banknorth.bank today. Bank North, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. So back here with 1:56 to go in the third quarter. And the Oaks Tornadoes line up in a shotgun Two receivers to the far, one to the near, and they're going to hand the ball off to Rosendahl. Rosendahl takes the ball, is able to get a handful of yards on the play, making it a 3rd and manageable. About 4 yards on the play for Rosendahl as he continues to rack up a few yards here over the 75-yard mark here today for Rosendahl. Tornadoes began the ball at the 41-yard line. 1 first down so far. They got trips to the right, 1 to the far left. A little bit of pressure, and they get the ball off to Rosendahl on the left side, and Rosendahl has got some room before he's hit out of bounds. And we'll see where they mark him, right around the 19-yard line. Or I'm sorry, not 19-yard line. Boy, the marks on the far side are a little blurry to me. The 29-yard line. We'll call it the 29-yard line. There we go. As the ball is handed up the middle, and that's Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom is able to find some room off to the right side. He's going and able to make a few men miss. Stays in and charges ahead towards the goal line. And that'll be a first down inside the 5-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal at around the 2 to 3 yard line. So a pickup of about 27 for Dahlstrom on that one. And the Oaks Tornadoes will try and attempt a run. And Dahlstrom gets the ball, gains about a yard on that play. So we're looking at a 2nd and goal from about the 1. And on the clock is 16 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter. And the clock is rolling, so we'll see if they get the play off, and they do. Hand the ball off to Dahlstrom up the middle, and Dahlstrom gets into the end zone for another Tornado touchdown. And that'll bump the score up 27-0 as Dahlstrom takes in his first touchdown of the game. And they'll line up to kick the extra point. And the snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is good. So 1 more point for the Oaks Tornadoes. It'll be 28-0 Oaks over top of Sargent County at the end of the 3rd quarter. Close to the end of the 3rd quarter, 5 seconds to go. We'll be back here in a minute.
Bank North, always true.
The Bison Booster Club, an organization that is rooted in their support of the activities within the Milner Public School District and the City of Milner. They pride themselves on their community involvement in local donations to area projects and sponsorships to help make their community a pleasant place to reside. If you have any questions or are interested in becoming a Booster Club member, you can check out the Bison Booster Club on Facebook or talk with any of the existing members. The Bison Booster Club, helping make their community a better place to live. The Milner Public School District has a long history of academic, artistic, and
back here outside of North Sargent High School, the score is 28-0. Sorry, the score says 9 there. It is 28. There we go. And Tornadoes kick the ball off. It's a high kick, a little shorter one that they have been, fielded about the 22-yard line. That's Tristan Peterson. He's coming back around to the near side. Able to make a few men miss, keeping on his feet, past the 50, past the 45, before he's knocked out of bounds right around the 42-yard line, and the Sargent County Bulldogs will begin their drive from there with a short field, which was well needed for the Bulldogs. And that will expire the third quarter. So fourth quarter action here will begin in just a minute. We'll send it to a quick break, and we'll be back with more Class 11A Region 1 football here live on your live event from Gwinner, North Dakota. We'll be back in a second.
Of the programs and education environment offered. A fully accredited educational system. Milner Public School District operates 2 separate school buildings, including Sundale Colony School. Over 85%, that's right, 85% of the graduates of Milner High School attend some form of post-secondary educational institution. You can find more information on the Milner Public School District online at milner.k12.nd.us.
Data shows that half of the pills seized off the street by law enforcement contain a lethal dose of fentanyl. You never know when you might find yourself in the middle of an emergency. Why not be the reason a life can be saved? Narcan provides a safe and easy way to reverse the effects of an opioid in just minutes. You can pick up your Narcan today for free at your local public health office.
This message is brought to you by your local public health unit.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great education.
Back here at North Sargent High School field, Bulldogs down 28-0 against the Oaks Tornadoes. And Fury takes the snap, hands the ball off on the far side there to Eli Olson. Eli Olson able to pick up a couple of yards on the play. We'll call it 2. And it'll be 2nd and 8 for the Sargent County Bulldogs. This is their 5th possession. Actually, it is their 6th possession. They did have a short possession right at the end of the half there with about 23 seconds to go. But they were deep down in their own territory, elected to kneel the ball. So Sargent County, both teams right now, 5th, maybe 6th possession, we'll call it here, for the Tornadoes had, but 5th one here for Sargent County. So here we go. Bulldogs line up, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, and Fury throws the ball deep downfield to Peterson, but over his head it looked like he was Peterson was almost slowing up a little bit to look for the ball, and the ball kept sailing. That pass will fall incomplete. And it'll be 3rd and 8 for Sargent County. And it says third quarter on there. I'll get that fixed here for you, so we're not confused, but Bulldogs got the ball. Fury drops back, and he's got Eli Olson, who catches the ball, then drops it, but they're going to call it an incomplete pass, and I would agree he maybe looked like he didn't quite have possession before it dropped out of his hands, and there is still a flag on the play. We'll hear what that is, but so far incomplete pass would be 4th and 8 if that stands. Okay, so a legal man downfield is the way I heard it, but the Tornadoes will decline that penalty to force it to a 4th down situation with the ball at the 39-yard line. And Bulldogs are sort of talking it over, seeing what they will do here. I imagine they'll probably go for it here as Fury steps back onto the field and gets into the huddle. Clock is at 10:59 to go here in the 4th quarter. Bulldogs trying to pull together a drive here, and they're going to spread things out with 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side, 1 in the backfield at shotgun. Fury takes it, looks off to his right side. That is number 9, Eli Olson. Eli's got some room, and he's got enough for a 1st down, and it looks like, and more. And it is way more than a 1st down yardage here. They're able to get to about the 23-yard line, and Sargent County will move the chains and keep this drive alive on that 4th down play. And so ball on the 24-yard line. That was a pickup of 17 yards. Fury drops back, throws the ball down deep. He's got Peterson, and Peterson is fighting for the ball, and he's got it in the end zone for a touchdown, Sargent County Bulldogs. 24-yard pass to Peterson, and that was on the other side of Peterson. Peterson did an excellent job of repositioning himself, catching the ball, and he had to fight a defender for it and was able to lock it down and get into the end zone and putting 6 points up on the board for Sargent County here with 10:45 to go in the fourth quarter. And the Bulldogs will go for it. Spread things out a little bit. Fury takes the ball and throws it into the end zone, and that's going to fall incomplete. So we'll keep the score at 6-28. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting what's important in life.
Get in touch with David.
Back here at North Sargent Field, Sargent County Bulldogs able to get in a score here on today's game. Tristan Peterson catches a ball from Jace Fury and 24-yard touchdown as the Bulldogs kick it off downfield, and the ball is fielded right around the 15-yard line and brought up to about the 35-yard line. And that was the freshman Andrew Rosendahl again on the return. So once again, starting on the 35-yard line here with 10:35 to go. That last drive here by Sargent County, they were able to drive 41 yards in for the touchdown, capped off by Peterson touchdown. The Oaks Tornadoes starting that next possession here at the 35-yard line. They're going to hand the ball off to Rosendahl. Rosendahl is taken down in the backfield and lost 2 yards on the play and Fury on the stop. So it'll be 2nd and 12. Rosendahl has over 17 carries here on the day. Most of his yardage, 72 of his yards coming in the first half, and he's just got 2 yards here in the second half running the ball. But again, he was the one, and back a few more yards again. And on the stop on that play again, Eli Olson making kind of some plays here on both the offensive and defensive side for Sargent County. And they'll lose a handful of yards on that. I want to say that's a loss of 4 yards on the play for Rosendahl. Rosendahl now minus 2 yards, I guess, on this second half, but 70 yards overall, not including the fumble recovered touchdown that he was able to get in the second quarter. As the Tornadoes spread things out a lot here, they've got 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Thorpe scrambling, somehow able to get rid of the ball, and that is all he is able to do. Not really too near enough, I guess, any intended receivers. And it'll be 4th and long here for the Oaks Tornadoes, and we may see the first punt of the day for them as the Bulldogs are set deep to receive. Eli Olson and Hans Hansen are set deep to receive. And Heyer is the punter. 9:07 to go here in the fourth quarter. The punt is up. It's high. It's deep. And fielded. Fumbled the ball, but the Bulldogs are able to get back on top of it. And that was Eli Olson, who was set to receive that ball. Couldn't quite hang on to it. It went, I think it went back a little bit farther than he was anticipating, but able to get back on top of the ball. And the Bulldogs are going to start their drive from the 35-yard line here with 9 minutes to go. So here comes Sargent County. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 in the backfield with Fury. Fury's going to hand the ball off to Olson. Olson's going to find a little room up the middle, makes a few people miss, and is able to get a first down for Sargent County, an 11-yard gain, and able to move the chains. And Olson really making a few things happen here. Pickup of about 11 yards on the play. And 1st and 10, Sargent County driving the ball at about the 46-yard line. Fresh set of downs. Clock rolling, 8:34 to go in the game. And once again, the Bulldogs are spreading things out a little bit here. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Eli Olson is in the backfield. And Fury drops back. He's got some pressure, rolling to his right. Looking downfield, throws the ball into the hands of Logan Boat, but he is not able to hold on to it. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Sargent County. And the incomplete pass will stop the clock. 8:13 to go here in the fourth quarter. Oaks Tornadoes up 28-6 over the Sargent County Bulldogs. Oaks Tornadoes 2-2 on the season, 2-1 in region play, and Sargent County 0-5 on the season and 0-3 in Region 1 play. Spread out a little bit again here. And they're going to hand the ball off to Olson. Olson's going to go around the left side, and he's got a little room. He's got a first down and stays on his feet until he gets almost out of bounds. Picks up about 13 yards on the play. And Olson racking up the yards here for Sargent County on the rushing end. So they'll mark him out at the 42-yard line. Enough for a first down. The clock stops with 8:07 to go. Sargent County looking to have a little life in them as Olson is giving a little bit more playing time back there. Eli Olson, the freshman running back, the 5'10", 160-pounder, is making a little splash here in Game 6 for Sargent County. And that ball is batted down right away. That's Dimitrov up, bats the ball away from Jace Fury's pass. And so we'll be sitting at 2nd and 10. Ball at the 41-yard line. Clock stops at 8:05. And Bulldogs line up 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Eli Olson in the backfield with Fury. They're going to give the ball to Olson. Olson's got a little room up the middle. Makes a few people miss, but the ball is loose. And the ball is recovered by Logan Bope. And that'll save a turnover here for Sargent County. And Eli Olson definitely feeling a little loose here able to make some plays here for Sargent County, get that run game going for them, and able to get 7 yards on the play before it's knocked out and then eventually recovered. Good job, Logan Bope there getting on top of the ball, but pickup of about 6 to 7 yards on the play for Sargent County either which way. And Fury drops back. He's got Newsel on the far side. Gets to about the 32, and not enough for a first down. Now let's see, that'll pick up maybe about 3 yards on the play. Two yards on the play. So we've got a fourth and a long one, I would say. And the Bulldogs line up. They've got two receivers to the near side here, two to the far side. Eli Olson in the backfield. And Coach Olson is calling a timeout. So we'll take a Bank North timeout, and we will be back with you in just a minute.
724-6252.
The Bison Booster Club, an organization that is rooted in their support of the activities within the Milner Public School District and the City of Milner. They pride themselves on their community involvement in local donations to area projects and sponsorships to help make their community a pleasant place to reside. If you have any questions or are interested in becoming a Booster Club member, you can check out the Bison Booster Club on Facebook or talk with any of the existing members. The Bison Booster Club, helping make their community a better place to live.
Homegrown Local Radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm market.
So fourth down and 1 to go here. 6:44 to go in the fourth quarter. Sargent County Bulldogs have 6 points. Oaks Tornadoes 28. Bulldogs trying to put some more points on the board, and Fury pitches the ball off to Olson. Olson able to get a little bit on the play. I don't think he's got enough for the first down. We will see where they mark him at. And no gain on the play, so we will flip the chains over, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Oaks Tornadoes, and the ball is placed around the 32-yard line. .6:37 to go here in the fourth quarter. Oaks Tornadoes come up to the line of scrimmage, I formation. They're going to hand the ball off to Rosendahl up the middle. Rosendahl is able to maybe get to the line of scrimmage, give or take. And they'll give him about a half a yard there. So Rosendahl picks up a little bit there. And I have 18 slots for my stats as far as how many rushes. That's how far my columns go, and he's surpassed that here for a number of rushes here today, the freshman Rosendahl. And they're going to bootleg it out to the right side, and they've got a man downfield. That is number 16, Zaid Heyer, and Zaid Heyer is able to get a first down and some before he's out of bounds at around the 41-yard line on Sargent County's side of the field. So Thorpe able to catch number 16 there, Heyer, for a nice gain and a first down. And they'll hand the ball up the middle to Dimitrov. Dimitrov will keep kind of fighting forward and will be able to pick up about 4 yards on the play for Dimitrov. So that'll bring up 2nd and 6 for the Tornadoes. The clock keeps rolling here. 5:24 to go in the fourth quarter. And I imagine they'll probably try and run the ball, or at least run the clock down as far as they can between each play. Keep the play clock rolling. Game clock is at 6 seconds, so they've got to kind of hurry up to get the snap off, and they do, and hand it off to Rosendahl. Rosendahl able to pick up a couple more yards on that play. So 3rd and 4 for the Oaks Tornadoes. Each team still with a few timeouts left. Ball at the 35-yard line in Bulldog territory. And they'll let that play clock wind down. It's at about 8 right now. As they line up in an I. And bootlegs off to the left. Able to throw the ball off to Dahlstrom. And Dahlstrom is, I don't believe he's knocked out of bounds. It is a first down, though, so the clock will temporarily stop. And Dahlstrom able to get a first down. And we'll see they mark the ball right at about the 19-yard line here. And they must have pushed him out of bounds because that game clock, or the play clock, I'm sorry, has not resumed. So he did step out of bounds. A little hard to see up here on the 3rd level of the booth. We're pretty close to the field, sitting up high. So it's a little hard to kind of see, but probably both for you as the viewer at home as it is for me. And it's a pre-snap penalty, false start on the offense, so that'll back them up 5 yards on the play. And they'll replay first down. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Tornadoes. So they've got the ball spotted at the 24-yard line. And Tornadoes lined up in an I with one receiver to the right. And they'll hand the ball off to Rosendahl. Rosendahl isn't able to get anywhere as a handful of Bulldogs are there on that play. And no gain on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 15 for the Oaks Tornadoes. 3:53 and counting left on this clock. So looking ahead for both teams, next week, the Sargent County Bulldogs will head over to Hillsboro to take on Hillsboro Central Valley, and the Oaks Tornadoes will take on Northern Cass as a home game right there in Oaks, just to our west. Oaks High School, for those of you not from the area, I'm sure most of you are pretty familiar. They're just down the road and south about 5-6 miles. Pretty close schools, both as you may have heard Coach Olson in the pregame interview kind of mentioning how the Babe Ruth team, maybe not the Babe Ruth, some of the high school players either played with Oaks in Gwinner or in Oaks, depending on kind of their ages and where they lived. So a lot of these guys know each other pretty well from the springtime baseball. So I'm sure it's fun to get together and play. But the Oaks Tornadoes call a timeout, and we've got 2:44 left to go in the game. Oaks Tornadoes 28, Sargent County Bulldogs 6. We'll be back in a minute.
Street services more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Milner Grain understands that agriculture is your livelihood, and we're committed to providing you with the highest quality of services to meet your farming needs. Milner Grain has a passion for our community and the farmers we serve. Milner Grain is locally owned and operated. When you're looking for a partner in the field, look to Milner Grain. Call 701-427-5284 or check out Milner Grain's app with current up-to-date prices. Milner Grain is here to help you and your farm grow.
Allie. All right, back here outside of North Sargent High School, 2:44 to go left in the fourth quarter. Oaks Tornadoes with a good lead over here On top of Sargent County, we've got a 3rd and 13 to go as Thorpe hands the ball off up the middle to Dimitrov. Dimitrov able to pick up a few yards on the play, keep that play clock rolling. That'll bring up 4th and about 13 yards, maybe a pickup of 1 for Dimitrov on that play. And it looks like the Oaks Tornadoes are going to attempt a field goal. And this will be about a 37, 38-yard field goal if he is able to make it. So here we go. The kick is up, and I think it's far right. No good, but there is a penalty on the play. So we'll see what the call is there. Personal foul, roughing the kicker on the Sargent County Bulldogs side. So that's going to be an automatic first down. So the Oaks Tornadoes are going to keep the ball here with 1:58 to go in the fourth quarter. And normally a pretty costly penalty, but with the time consideration here, shouldn't be too much difference here on this game. But you know, you still hate to see plays like that where you give up a little bit, an opportunity to kind of get the ball going the other way, hold them from getting points. And it looks like the Oaks Tornadoes are going to kneel it here. And with 1:55 to go, they've got a few kneel downs left to go. And that should end this one. So the Sargent County Bulldogs will drop to 0-6 on the season. And the Oaks Tornadoes will advance to 3-2 on the season. And they'll have a 3-1 record. Have a 3-1 record within Region 1 play. A handful of teams, as mentioned in the pregame interview, that are kind of holding that 2-1 spot prior to the start of tonight. Ellendale, Edgeley, Colum, Northern Cass, Oaks, Valley City, all with 2-1 records, and Lisbon Broncos, the lone 3-0 team. We'll check in on that score here after this game is done, but kind of a lot of middlemen teams there with a one-loss record heading into the back part of the season. And the play clock now goes down to 55 seconds, and there are 17 seconds on the game clock, so they'll probably nail this one down here. And it's going to be really close. One more kneel down should about do it. And yes, the play clock and game clock now have a difference that should end the game. So here, at the end of regulation, the Oaks Tornadoes 28, the Sargent County Bulldogs 6. We'll be back here in 1 minute for the post-game show. And of course, during the post-game show, we're going to announce a few things here for the game. We've got a precision play of the game brought to you by Agassiz Precision Ag, as well as a player of the game brought to you by Enbridge, as well as wrap up some scores from around North Dakota football, as well as some of the stats here from tonight and how we got here. So stick around. We'll be back in a minute with the post-game show.
Has a long history of academic, artistic, and athletic achievement and is proud of the programs and education environment offered. A fully accredited educational system, Milner Public School District operates 2 separate school buildings, including Sundale Colony School. Over 85%, that's right, 85% of the graduates of Milner High School attend some form of post-secondary educational institution. You can find more information on the Milner Public School District online at milner.k12.nd.us.
Buying and selling heavy equipment at purplewave.com saves time and money. We handle all of the details, including pictures, videos, marketing, titles, and payments.
It was almost immediately over the top with the customer service. I've just never ever experienced that before with any other auction service. They're constantly working for me as the seller, and I really like that.
Purple Wave Auction is straight, simple, sold.
The Sargent Central Dollars for Scholars chapter is a nonprofit foundation that supports academic success in the community. The mission is to mobilize the community on behalf of post-secondary education success for the students. Dollars for Scholars chapters help hometown students achieve their educational goals by raising scholarship funds, establishing endowments, and more. For more information, scan the QR code on screen or stop by the Sargent Central School District. This game is brought to you in part by Joe's Fertilizer Supply.
Teens are faced with tough decisions all the time, and parents aren't always there when it happens. But that doesn't mean they can't influence their kids to make the right choice, because making that right choice is easier when the wrong one isn't an option. When your teen faces peer pressure, what you give them access to can make all the difference. This message is brought to you by your local public health unit.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good!
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
Fall is here, and that means harvest will ramp up quickly. How did your planter do this spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
All right, back here outside of North Sargent High School, we've got a final score here of Oaks Tornadoes 28, Sargent County Bulldogs 6. Bulldogs drop to 0-6 on the season as the Oaks Tornadoes bump up to 3-2 on the season, 3-1 in region play. Well, let's take a look at some of the stats here for tonight. We need to announce a precision play of the game brought to you by Agassiz Precision Ag. Oh, I'm sorry, not that one. Here we go. There we go. There it is. Agassiz Precision Ag on the board. Here we go. So Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. Agassiz Precision Ag is in Hillsboro. Call 701-436-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Well, the precision play of the game, and you know what? It was a little bit of a messy one. But we're going to have to go with the fumble recovery by Rosendahl in the third quarter with 9:54 to go. He was able to recover a fumble around the 14-yard line and take it in for a touchdown, giving the Oaks Tornadoes a 20, followed by 21-point lead early in the third quarter to kind of space this game out a little bit. So congratulations to the precision player of the game. Precision play of the game. And that again was by the Oaks Tornadoes running back number 6, Andrew Rosendahl, the freshman. And the precision player of the game, we're going to have to go with that same fellow. The freshman running back wearing number 6, racked up about 76 yards here by my tally on the day for rushing and was able to get a touchdown in. On the other side of the ball, the young other freshman running back for the Sargent County Bulldogs, Eli Olson, able to rack up equally as amount of yards on the ground. By my tally, had about 75 yards on 10 rushes for Sargent County. So Coach Olson has been talking a lot about trying to get the running game going, and he may have found his answer for the future as Eli Olson for the Sargent County Bulldogs really stepped in on that side as well. So the precision player of the game, which is brought to you by Enbridge, we're going to have to go with Rosendahl since he did get 6 points in. So congratulations Mr. Rosendahl, you are the Enbridge player of the game. Life takes energy. Enbridge, energy for life. Visit enbridge.com for career opportunities. Well, we've got to take a look around North Dakota football and see if we can update you with some scores that have gone final or are getting close to being final. So, as mentioned earlier, another game that we were kind of watching, the Lisbon Broncos at Ellendale Edgeley Column. Now that is going to push another team into that one-loss and 3-win sort of bracket for Region 1. And Ellendale Edgeley Column over top of Lisbon 43-12. Hillsborough Central Valley with 5 minutes left to go is on top of Valley City 28-0. Northern Cass has defeated Mayport CG 32-0. Central McLean is on top of Shiloh Christian 20-7 with 1 minute left to go. Harvey Wells County on top of Rugby 35-14 with 1 minute to go. The number 1 ranked Langdon area Edmore Munich has defeated Thompson 34-6. Number 4 ranked Park River has defeated Grafton 39-8. And the number 2 game to watch here as far as rankings go, one that's really close right now, Bowman County has a 46-44 lead at the beginning of the fourth quarter over number 2 ranked Killdeer. Carrington has defeated Turtle Mountain 40-0. Number 3 ranked Velva Garrison Drake Animus has taken care of Ray Powers Lake 50-6. Looking down on the 9-man games, the rivalry to the east here going on tonight. Hankinson's got a 30-6 advantage in the third quarter over Wyndmere Lidgerwood. Napoleon Gackle Streeter takes care of Hettinger Scranton 48-8. Number 4 ranked Alexander beats Surrey 52-8. Linton HMB on top of New Salem Almont 65-0. Nelson County right now has a lead 28-20 over Larimore with 3 minutes left to go in the game. And the number 2 ranked Lemoore Litchville Marion has got a 57-0 lead right now, just a couple minutes left of the game over Griggs Mid-Coda. Looking around at the AA division, Grand Forks Central defeats Fargo South 41-38. Kindred defeats Grand Forks Red River 42-7. Devils Lake currently on top of Jamestown 41-27 with 3 minutes left to go in the game. And Central Cass right now shutting out Wahpeton 40-0 with 10 minutes left to go in that game as well. And on to the AAA division. Looking at some scores there, West Fargo Horace defeats Fargo North, as reported earlier, 56-13. Bismarck Legacy over top of Williston right now, 49-18, with 1 minute left to go in the third quarter. Number 1 ranked Shanley defeats West Fargo, 36-28. Bismarck defeats Wynot, 43-7. Bismarck Century defeats Mandan, 31-0. And finally, Fargo Davies is on top of West Fargo Cheyenne, 51-27. Well, that'll do here from North Sargent High School. Once again, the Oaks Tornadoes have defeated the Sargent County Bulldogs 28-6. They'll move on to a 3-2 record and a 3-1 record overall. Sargent County drops to 0-6 and 0-4 in the Region 1 play. Thank you so much for joining me on your live event. My name is Bryce Hogness, and I will be here for all the Sargent County home games throughout the season. It's a pleasure being with you. Have a great evening, and we'll see you again next time.